Hello, everyone, and welcome to Change Your Thinking, Change Your Body. Today, my guest expert is Ilona Berkoben. Hi, Ilona. How are you?
Hi, Lucia. I'm fantastic. So happy to be here.
I'm so pleased to have you here. You've got a lot of great information to pass along to us and good connections to make as it relates to this topic. So I'm very excited for people to get to meet you. And my habit has been to just read a quick bio to give a little bit of background. And of course, you can elaborate on that as we go. So let me just tell you a little bit about Ilona. Ilona is a health and wellness coach. She is on a mission to end the dieting nightmare by healing the gut, balancing hormones, and changing the mindset. As a physician, she could see the catastrophic consequences of a poor lifestyle and bad choices. Ilona's coaching style is unique, comprised of different coaching methods backed by science of medicine. She specializes in gut health and weight loss and a total transformation of her clients. She's actually faced many challenges in her own life, and she understands the struggles and pain her clients are going through. She's passionate about teaching self-care, mindfulness, healthy eating, and cooking. She was able to turn her challenges into opportunity. Well, there you go, is the congruence and the connection that I feel with you, Ilona. So welcome. I liked that I read that and get to meet you and hear you now speak about all of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia. Thank you.
I am very curious about everything that you do. I know that when in my research, in my small research, I will say, in terms of gut health, the first thing I thought of was gut health, like what's that got to do with anything until you really dive in and really truly feel, because I do know that, what you eat has relevance to how you feel and how you dictate some of the emotions and so on and so forth. So tell us a little bit about that, just to sort of launch us into this, because I have a ton of questions for you.
Thank you, Lucia. Absolutely. Gut health is the key for our optimal health. So 2,000 years ago, Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, stated that everything begins in the gut. All diseases start in the gut. And that's so very true. Gut is the core, the basis of our good health, well-being, and it's just so amazing. Did you know that we have billions of our little invisible friends, our gut flora, that work so hard for us, and they can influence even how we think and how we feel? Isn't that amazing?
That's what attracted me to your work. So, yeah, truly.
And the other thing is, let me go back. We have given an amazing bodies. Our bodies are capable of healing or restoring, but even our body is so forgiving for us because we tend to abuse on different levels, overworking, overstressing, overeating, not eating proper food. And then we are surprised, like, what's going on? Why me? Why I don't feel great? Why I'm sick? Why I don't have energy? So that is everything. And the other thing is, in my practice, I like, as a coach, I combine different modalities, as I mentioned, and address more than our physical body. We have emotional, we have energetic and spiritual body. Sure. And what happens when we neglect beside the physical, or many times even the physical body? For example, if we don't claim our personal power, if we grew up in not so supportive environment as a child, or even sometimes abusive, emotional, even physically, we have unprocessed emotions in our solar plexus, and that creates stagnation of energy, and with time it can create a physical illness. So there are so many aspects of gut health, starting with the emotions, the energy, with our gut flora, and the anatomy, physiology. It's so much. And just look at what's going on today. The stagnant number of autoimmune disorders. We never had this huge number.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Isn't it incredible? It just blows my mind sometimes about the things that I know I grew up with hearing and now. So
Yes, that's so much to it. So I help people to achieve optimal health, and that is through building a healthy, strong digestive tract, the flora, and learning how to process emotions, because that is the key to overall great health.
yeah, I know. I truly believe that. That's what I love about the congruence of all of this, because, I find, don't you, that, weight loss, it's a huge burden on a person, on your relationships, on society.
Absolutely.
And then when we look at our lifestyle as it relates to that, how is that, do you feel that there's a connection there?
Absolutely. I usually like to say, tell me your lifestyle, and I will tell you how much you value yourself.
Hold on. Take a breath right there.
All
Because
right.
I made a tremendous connection for myself about self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of blew me away, and almost in a way that, like, well, no, I feel good about myself. But the more I delved into it, that was a huge tape that played in the back of my head. And even behaviorally, my quest for perfection, Ilona, is a self-worth issue. And I realized that too. So when I'm looking to be perfect, my weight loss, my everything that's going on in my body, that is a tape that plays. So I interrupted that because I think self-worth and self-care is so key in this. So please go on.
Absolutely. So many times talking to my clients, I frequently the objection will show up sooner or later. For example, if I recommend the elimination diet, the clean diet, and the client knows that starting that diet, it will improve everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they say, oh, no, I cannot do that because it's expensive, it's whatever. But when I look around, they maybe carry a couple of $1,000s worth of purse and shoes. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I like to
understand. Yeah, I understand.
But where is the priority? If my health and well-being, the top number one priority, then I will do everything to improve my circumstances. If I have to change my diet, I'll do it. If I have to start exercising, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So what happens? Frequently, we start either starvation diets that completely so unhealthy, that is a huge stress for our bodies, that end up binging. We don't exercise, then we go into extreme workouts, mm-hmm. Causing more harm than good, right? We stress out ourselves and we claim, I don't have time to de-stress. Whatever is that for you, meditation, prayer, walk. And then we don't have enough time to sleep properly, enough 7 to 8 hours. So that speaks to me that I don't value myself. Mm-hmm. And I understand I'm very busy and sometimes I have to make compromise things, but self-care is the number one priority. Until we turn back to ourselves, the change won't happen. Yes, you can lose weight. You go to low-calorie diets, increase your workout, you will lose weight for a period of time.
Comes right back on.
Once the diet stops, everything will come back and some more, because we didn't address the core issue, the self-worth.
Yeah, I think, everything that you say, and I'm sure, like I was doing as you were speaking, bobbleheading away, saying, yeah. But yet when you get into the minutia of your day and the habit of the way you react to it, it sort of goes by the wayside. And then on reflection in the evening, you look back and you say, oh my God, see how I didn't do it there. And then the cycle goes, because I beat myself up about the fact that I didn't take this forward motion steps. and so on. Why do you think that that's so hard for people? Why do you, what have you come across in that?
I'll go back. I'll just give me 1 minute. I wanted to digress because I'm not judging anyone because I'm guilty myself.
Me too. I've been saying
Absolute
that.
No. We are all in the process of evolving toward our better self. My diet is always clean. I have no problem, but I used to have problem with overworking, overloading myself, overwhelming myself, but I'm learning. So the self-worth issue is so deep, and it dates back to our early childhood.
Yeah.
For a small child, it's very confusing and traumatizing not having clear pictures, and I will explain what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if someone grows up in a not so loving and nurturing family, or the family members are conditioned not to express openly emotions,
Mm-hmm.
the child cannot be in a state of confusion. So she or he will make assumption that must be something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not loved. I don't feel that I belong, and it must be me.
I'm not good enough. Absolutely.
Then from that it starts. Yes, why I'm not loved? Because I'm not good enough. Why I'm not don't belong? Because I'm not worthy member of this tribe, my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole spiraling effect, and we carry those beliefs throughout our lifetime.
Right. And we don't even realize that we're saying those things. We're not deliberately saying, I'm not worth it. I don't matter.
Yes.
It's just what we
conclude. And it's so deeply ingrained in our subconscious brain that we are not aware unless we start to be aware of our thinking, emotions, feelings, our behavior, and then start making connections.
Right. Right. So, the same way you made the connections that created those negative.
Yes. Because if we have that belief that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, our subconscious brain creates our reality around that to prove. So that means I do everything to prove that I'm not worthy. So I won't be worthy of great body, of abundant life, of wealth in every level, because I'm not worthy. So I will even just look, people who I can lose weight again on diet, but if I keep feeding my body with junk food, if I keep not taking care of my spiritual and emotional needs, what happens? I have a void which I will start to fill with food. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not a solution. Right. So we create our reality around our core beliefs. So that is, people go do different activities, drugs, food, overspending, whatever is that, to feel that void.
Yeah, to compensate. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because it's not necessarily so deliberate. It is, you get that first feeling of euphoria, for example, like, oh, that comfort, oh, that was good, oh, I feel good about that, right? Whatever it is, whether it's shopping, food, to your point. And we're not really paying attention to the cause, the root cause of.
Yes, that is why we have to learn to connect to our deeper self, to make that connection. Mm-hmm. And not nurture ourselves. Then we won't need that highs of shopping or buying the latest gadget. All that is good. I like myself. But let's try not to rely on that to feel good about ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And I know easier said than done, and maybe people are going,
hey,
easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes.
So is it possible? Tell me how you think it's possible for us to change our thinking about
first of all, awareness. So mindfulness. Yeah. The first key is to check on your emotions. Mm-hmm. How you feel throughout the day. So that will help you to be aware of your thoughts. And it's good to, I like to recommend and do myself journaling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are my major thoughts throughout the days and my feelings, and make connections. Then if possible, to work with a coach, or usually people need help with, to go back to childhood and try to identify the belief and the time when the belief was formed, and change it.
Give it a different meaning. I know I've been encouraging
Absolutely,
that
yes.
with my clients to go back, you know, in the picture of what we saw as, you know, 0 to 7 years old is the span of time that, you know, you get the download. I've been calling it the dump, you know, the computer dump. We download onto the computer and we never do the disk cleanup. And so think about that, because 0 to 7, we're not at the place of intellect to give it a different meaning. We're just, this is what this feels like, and this is what I'm going to frame it up at. Now that we're at, you know, we've lived a life, we can go back with some intelligence and say, wait a minute, let me give that a different meaning based on, I know I did a lot of this with even looking back on my childhood and what I decided to tell myself. And then I explained people that were in my life. I said, well, you know, now that I know them, now that I've had some time with them, let me give myself an explanation as to why that picture came to me in the way it was delivered, by who it was delivered, and give it possible reasons as to why it was delivered that way, because of the person and their life, right? And I started to give things a different meaning. It has been such a great process. You know, it's an emotional process, and it's also a surrender of, thank God, take this off of me now, because I don't want to be carrying it for the rest of my life.
Exactly, because that belief was true back then when I was 4 or 5 years old, but it's not true anymore.
Right. That's right.
It doesn't serve me anymore. So it's time to let go and create a new belief. Yes.
And I have to just say that in that same moment, because I feel sometimes some people are feeling like scared about what they're going to uncover with that. I have to tell you, as soon as I gave it a different meaning and explained, let's just say my mother, and explained some of the things of my mother and the woman I knew in my adult life, I instantly was able to let it go.
Yes.
I was instantly able to say, I can give this another meaning. I know her now. And what I framed up then when I was, you know, young and not knowing her and not knowing the world, and it was so freeing to also give myself the ownership of what I brought to it then and what I bring to it now, because I felt like if I kept dragging it through my life, knowing I could give it a different meaning, now that's on me. And right?
And that's so healing, because, you know, we have to realize that our parents had also their issues. Has nothing to do with us.
Right.
So, there are a few exercises I like to do with my clients when we go back to our family and forgive our parents, things that we were expecting that didn't happen, to realize and keep just the loving, absolutely beautiful relationship, and release all the negativity around, because our parents had also their own conditioning. So not that they didn't love me or that they didn't know how to show, because no one showed them as well. So that is so deliberating and healing. That is the wonderful and beautiful healing process.
And I also feel that, you know, some people are out there saying, well, you know what, I did have a lot of crap come at me from my parents. They didn't live a happy life, and they did that dump on me. And some people are out there with that as their history, but that doesn't have to be your history, right? I don't have, just because I came from that doesn't mean I have to drag it and perpetuate it. I think that's a lot of stuff in the world is perpetuated based on all of, you know, our learnings, and not giving it a different meaning or changing that. Or even to your point about core values, I have to tell you, sometimes I've talked about core values with people and they go, what is that? And I was like, wow, okay, we got to start from scratch. Yeah. What is it that you hold so true to yourself and who you are as a person? And sometimes it starts there and the healing comes,
Yes,
you
absolutely,
know,
yes. Mm-hmm.
because, and I want to acknowledge the people out there who may have had a really crappy childhood. There are people out there that have had that. But that doesn't have to mean you have to drag it through the rest of your life. Quite honestly, you don't. Because that's why I say when I can change it up, live a different life, then that's on me. But
Absolutely. And and I know, I agree with you. Some children were abused severely, mentally, physically, and even
yeah,
sexually. Yes.
yes.
But the healing process, if nothing else, to let go
It, it,
and stop being a victim anymore. Stop the cycle. Stop it. It's, I cannot even imagine those people, and my heart goes out to you.
right.
But start the healing process. Don't be a victim. Don't carry that pain and burden throughout your whole life. And
Mm-hmm.
there are ways. There are therapists, there are coaches, and even books. Start, if nothing else, start reading books.
By yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Just take responsibility. Decide that from today on, you will
Be different.
change the situation because you can.
And you know, I've been saying often that we are more alike than we are different. We think we're alone in this. And quite honestly, we're not. I'm always talking about, like, you know, I pictured myself rowing down the river by myself, you know, and I'm like, you know,
Mhm.
there's get in the boat, grab an oar. We're all in this together. There are more, you know, everybody's got something. I say that all the time. Everybody's got something. There's something maybe more than my something, but I still have my something, and that I need to, you know, reconcile with and to help me move forward and progress. I that progression in life is very near and dear to my heart. And whenever it sort of feels like it's stagnant because, you know, life is going like this, I think to myself, you know, what am I waiting for? Why would I wait? I mean, it's what brought me out to California, just, you know, leaving New York, boom. So, you know, and we started talking about gut health here, and look what we're
Mhm.
talking about now, right? Because it all matters. It
Absolutely.
truly all matters in a healthy human spirit, in a healthy human body, in a healthy human brain, because that changing that thinking may not be easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be the choice, right? Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And you have to decide that you matter. I do matter. So, and it requires some work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You cannot lie on the couch and watch reality TV and hope for things to happen.
Mm-mm.
You have to do some work, and always good to start with small baby steps because our ego will resist change.
Yeah.
So
Oh gosh. Yeah.
start with small steps. If nothing else, start reading books. Start reading 15 minutes a day. Watch videos. I mean, reach out to communities. There are meetup groups. There's so many options for free even.
Absolutely.
Just have to decide, declare you are going to start
Uh,
your change,
And
your
I'm worth it.
healing and transformation.
And you're worth it. And when you do find out that there are other people feeling like you feel, there's something about that camaraderie of that, you know, there's just something about, like, oh my God, I have a voice. Somebody understands what I'm feeling right now, and I has gone through that. And that's what's great about support, and really finding the like-minded, you know, I've been talking about, just surround yourself with the energies that are going to help you get to where you need to be. You know, if I sit in the people that keep pushing me down because that's where I'm feeling, exactly where I'm going to stay. So, and so when we look at, even as it relates to the food part of it, in conjunction with this, because again, the healthy body creates the chemistry and the you know, the physiology that gets into the psychology of things, right?
Mhm.
It is all connected. It's funny because until you go to and I love that you're a doctor, but until you go to a doctor's office or you're in the hospital, now your ears are all like, what do I need to do because I'm in this state right now?
Mhm.
And so, like, we're trying to talk about avoiding that, which is what,
Yes.
right, through this
Yes.
interview even.
So that is why I always like to say, I love my job, and I I'm on a mission to inspire people to really realize that we have the power to choose.
Yeah.
I have the power to choose what I'm going to eat today. I have the power to choose to move my body, to be aware of the way I think and feel, and create loving and nurturing relationships. I'm not a victim of my circumstances. So what we need is, I studied many diets, but the bottom line is to eat healthy, nutritious food that gives us energy, that gives us building blocks so our body can heal and restore what needs to be restored. And I am so big proponent of home cooking because you have the control. You know exactly what is in your meal. And when you infuse it with love, see the change, see the magic happens. If you buy a packaged food, that's no value in it. It's no empty calories, chemicals that will damage even further your tiny friends in our gut. So healthy, clean eating is the key. Are you vegan, vegetarian, omnivore? It's your choice. But just clean, organic, grass-fed, free-range, that's the key. A lot of leafy greens, a lot of colorful, color of the rainbow. And yes, and live food with life force energy that gives us fuel to be able to function properly.
So what are you doing? What do you say to people who are right out there now saying, well, you're lucky I'm watching this video, let alone have time to cook? What are you saying? What would you say to them in terms of
First,
that?
I will tell what is your number one priority. I guess if I go through with that person your daily schedule, we will find time when you can cook. So, and I'm very busy and I understand, but it has to be high priority. So if nothing else, you use your slow cooker or invest into one. When I'm very busy, for example, in the morning, I put in my slow cooker piece of chicken, vegetables, add spices, turn on, and when I back home, I have a healthy meal, for example. And I will be teaching, I like to teach batch cooking. So there's so many options. Planning.
I do that.
Batch cooking, absolutely. Freezing. But the key is you have to find time, because that's, if you have a family, especially young children, you cannot have no time. You have to find time for cooking. And cook twice a week. You know, if and prepare things. For example, I like to bake a whole chicken. It's only my husband and we eat 2 days that chicken. The rest I freeze. Then when I have time, I brown, for example, ground turkey or chicken or ground beef. Make multiple small batches, freeze. So in the day before, I take out from the freezer the meat. So when we get home, I make zucchini pasta. The meat is thawed, add sauce, and there you go. So planning.
Right. Prepping.
Freezing. Freezer is my absolutely best friend in my meal planning. And finding recipes that are simple, easy to make, fast.
That everybody likes. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I found it's a nice opportunity to bond with your family, you know.
Not absolutely.
Right.
Nothing nicer than cooking.
You get in here, you're chopping this. You get in here, you're doing
absolutely.
that. We have such a great time. I mean, that there, I don't have my kids are all gone out of the home right now, but
the bonding.
Yeah, because
absolutely cannot be the same like going to McDonald's or wherever, Wendy's.
Or wherever. And you know, I also looked at that as I was slowly going to poison my kids if I did that, because now I have the knowledge that that's not packaged foods, or, you know, they may be easy and quick for us to quickly get out to the soccer field, or who's got a baseball game, or who's whatever.
Yes.
You know, if I looked at it as though I were, you know, killing and poisoning my children, I was like, what? So it was different. And my job is to teach my kids to live in the world without me. So if they don't know how to cook,
Wonderful. But you know how many times in conversation with my clients, they said, my mother never taught me to cook. I said,
I
what?
know, I know.
You know, if I could create a program for young people just planning to start families,
Hmm.
I would give mandatory classes to learn cooking
Hmm. Oh,
because it's so important.
there needs to obviously be a willingness. I remember when my daughter, she would just, the height of her cooking was scrambling an egg in a bowl and chucking it in the microwave. And she'd be like, done. And I'm like, oh, I can't have my daughter not knowing how to cook, because cooking was such a great, I love cooking and I love cooking for people. So,
Yes, but you know, as that's instilled in our culture,
right.
it's easier to go to a food court or stop by, again, fast food, roll down the window, order food, but doesn't work like that. No,
Mm.
we have to invest in our health, and one of the number one reason is why is gut health so important today? Why we have so many leaky gut related disorders is the food.
Mm. Tell me, I've heard that leaky gut
Mhm.
comments before. What does that mean, leaky gut?
Leaky gut means is a layman term for increased intestinal permeability. What does it mean? Our cells in our gut lining are very tightly connected.
Mm-hmm.
And when leaky gut happens, the connection between the cells is getting damaged. Imagine like a sieve with little holes. So the tightly connected cells prevent large molecules to go from our gut into our bloodstream because
Ah.
the properly broken down molecules, which are small, should go into our bloodstream. In case of leaky gut, we have those communication gaps. So large molecules from our intestine goes into our bloodstream, and that can cause a
Host of,
cascade of reactions,
yeah.
inflammation, autoimmunity, and so on.
And you wouldn't even know where it came from.
Yes, and
Mm.
food allergies sensitive, it's so huge today, and mainly caused by our lifestyle. You know,
Right.
we are sort of a live experiment because, put it this way, people criticize big companies. I do too, don't get me wrong. But many times the primary intention was great, creating GMOs. They wanted to feed a large number of population that needed, and wanted to create crops that can withstand everything. But no one realized back then that will affect our health.
So they didn't know that until,
We
right? It was
started having symptoms, yes.
right, right. Which is why now I never heard of gluten intolerance when I was growing up, right?
Yeah, you didn't, yes.
Who heard
Yes,
that? Who's that guy? Who can't have peanuts in the classroom? We never heard of that.
exactly, yes, 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 yes.
So
And when I say the elimination diet, gluten-free, I said, people are getting standoffish because I eat all the time. Yes, but this is different wheat, different food than my parents and my grandparents ate.
right,
So
right. It's all, it's all, yeah, the whole GMO thing, all of that. And I get the reasons why it did, for to your point, to feed a large number of people, have it, be able
I
to.
mean, the intention wasn't probably bad in the beginning. You know what they did?
Right.
Use science to advance, but who would think that will backlash on our health?
Right. Well, so now again, I whip around Maya Angelou's quote, when you know better, you do better. And that's what
Yes.
I wanted to bring forth with this summit: knowledge, information that you could now choose to make, take a tiny step in the right direction for yourself. What makes sense with this interview and everything else that's on this summit. And I think, I'm sometimes I still am, but an all or nothing thinker, right? Like, I know every time somebody says, take one tiny step forward, and you want to say, yes, that's so much kinder and gentler. But when I really want to make the change, I just want to do the 180 and let's go, So I want that message to really come across, because making those changes and easing and leaning into it is really, and inviting it into your life is really going to be the kinder, softer approach to understanding how, because you talk about individualization, right?
Yes.
We're not all in the same category, right?
Absolutely. And that is, you mentioned that, reminding me, thank you. The
Yes.
instant gratification. We live, I want it now, I wanted it yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, too late yesterday.
Yes. I don't know a lot, but I really appreciate the Japanese Kaizen method, starting with very small steps, because small steps is easy to stick to, and just keep changing slowly.
Yeah, it's not too invasive into your life. Small steps.
Exactly. So let's go back to cooking. If someone doesn't cook, it's irrational to start from Monday on, I'll cook every day. It won't happen. But what if you cook one day a week? So that's very achievable.
That's it.
Then you will learn, you will like it maybe a couple of weeks from now, 2 or 3 weeks per day. The same with if someone doesn't exercise. Would you work out starting Monday every day for an hour?
Yeah.
No way. But if you go to take walk 3 times next week for half an hour, that's very achievable. The resistance will be much lower. And once you start feeling the benefits, then you will want to keep going. So yes, we have to learn to leave behind the instant gratification mentality.
Right. And the fear that we won't have it, the fear that we won't have the life that we're looking for. But you won't if we don't choose it. We won't if we don't take the tiny steps. So if I'm always like, well, how's that working for you? If trying to do the all or nothing thing is, you've been met with slap down the whole time and it's not worked, then let's go this route. What do we got to lose, right? One step, one baby step at a time. And if cooking, and I love that we have all of this connection here. If cooking is an issue, I want you to talk about your free gift, because I think we have a solution today about that.
I've compiled 60 healthy recipes, and I want every one of your listeners.
60. I just had to say that number. Yeah.
60. So you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snacks, everything at your fingertips. Just download the book and start using it.
Yeah. And it'll all be in the email from today where you go back after this interview, go back and click on that link. So quickly, before we wrap up, what would be one, we talked about awareness and we talked about baby steps. Would there be any other small thing that you would recommend someone try today to start making some changes today?
Yes. I want to start practicing self-compassion. We say everything starts with self-love. That's so true. But if I was conditioned for many years to beat myself down, to use the distorting mirrors that I hate myself, I'm ugly, everything is bad on me, everything is bad about me. I cannot start tomorrow loving kindness meditation or loving myself. But if we start with a smaller step of self-compassion, that might eventually lead to self-love. And loving the inner child, nurturing the inner child, which we all need. So self-compassion, what can you do? You can start journaling and be aware of your thought. How do you think about yourself? If you make a mistake, do you beat yourself down right away? But in the same time, if your best friends make the same mistake, how would you react?
Exactly.
You will say, don't worry, everyone makes mistake. There's a new chance to make it better. But when it's me, that's me again.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I know.
Cannot do anything right. I'm just the loser, whatever. No. So use the same compassion toward yourself. So if you made a mistake, say the same thing that you will say even to your maybe first door neighbor.
Yeah.
So learn self-compassion. I like to use essential oils to awaken the senses, because it gives me more clarity. And to use meditation, if nothing else, just close your eyes and do deep breathing. That could be the very first step. And I like the HeartMath Institute, the heart-brain coherence exercise, the quick coherence exercise. If you have some time, I can teach that. It's very short, but very powerful exercise. And if you don't know anything what to do, close your eyes, start deep, slow breathing, put both of your palms over your head, and just keep breathing. And if you can, try to think about something that gives you most joy, your pet, partner, children, whatever is that. And just hold that emotion and breathe.
Sit in gratitude.
Feeling gratitude for your life, for whatever is that. Right. Absolutely. And start the gratitude journal. It's so powerful.
It really is. I have one myself. I don't give myself rules, because that usually broke down for me. I have a gratitude moment and I write it in there, and whatever it is, it could be the smallest things. It could be the smallest thing. So I have to just thank you. I loved this conversation. It's very near and dear to my heart. I love the connection of the work that you do, and explaining all of that. And I know that there'll be way more if you want to check out Dr. Ilona's site. You certainly will. All the links will be there. But we both want to hear from you of what resonated with you, what your takeaway was, and what tiny step you'll choose to make, and what else we could do to support you, because we are here for you. We have walked this walk, right, Ilona? I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not talking out of something that I heard on street. I walked my own walk with this. I think that that's very key and very important when you're getting support from somebody who understands what you're going through.
Yes, absolutely. I turned around my life. I faced a few huge challenges. So when I say life is so precious and so worth living, it comes from a deepest part of my heart, because I had period when I didn't want to live. I had period when I said, oh my gosh, another day, why? So everyone can make the shift. Everyone can turn around. You have to work.
That's it.
Because really, life is so precious. Don't waste it in pain and suffering.
That's it. Figure out why you want it so bad and just hang on to that, and it will go.
Absolutely.
One baby step at a time. But we want to hear from you. So however else we can support you, please let us know. Yes? Ilona, you were a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucia, for the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for the great work. This is so amazing.
I think it's great. Yeah, I love that we can have this platform, that we can do it this way. Thank you for technology and
yes.
The way that has evolved, right?
Yes.
Woo, love it. Gotta love it. Okay. Much love to everyone, and we'll be back. Okay. Have a great day.